Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Hafsa Saeed Wali and I am a level 1 student at Rehan School, Islamabad by the Core campus. Everyone knows that whenever we come with a new foreigner or a guest. So today we come with a new foreigner guest and his name is Markus. So let's start. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Hafsa. I'm very well, thank you. I'm half awake and half tired because it's the middle of the night here, but that's okay. I think I'm very pleased to see you. And how are you?
I'm really good, and it's like 5 a.m. of the morning. Okay, so my first question from you that can you introduce yourself for our audience?
Yes, my name is Markus Petz, and I live in Finland. I'm a member of the Regenerative Development Association, and we have worked with young people and also the wider society to let them know about how they can live a different life that's more sustainable, more aware of climate change and how we deal with it, and closer to nature. So that's what I do there. And then I'm an academic, so I've studied at university, public and social and public policy. And before that, I did mountain forestry. And before that, I did biology and geology. So I'm a natural scientist that's a social scientist.
Okay, can you tell me us that can you tell us me and our audience about your journey from early interested and so the work you are doing today?
I can tell you about my journey. My life began in the city of Hereford, which is in the Midlands of England, in what was the ancient kingdom of Mercia. 1,000 years ago, Mercia existed. Now it's been swallowed up by all the other kingdoms around to make England and then Britain. So I grew up there. My father was a teacher. My mother was a teacher. And I was always interested in nature. I always went for long walks. I collected fossils. I looked at the trees and the birds. Growing up in a small village, I was very connected to nature, and I was also connected to the people that lived in that farming village. As I got a bit older, I went to university in Manchester, and then I moved to London. So I moved from a small rural area to a big city, and I went abroad. I came to Finland, and I've been living in a few other places, but Finland is where my heart is. So when I came to Finland, I found that just like in England, in the rest of Northern Europe, that we are very close to nature if we wish to find it. And I find it at the end of my road, there's a lake that I swim in most mornings. And I like watching the birds and the other animals, but also I like people. So I spend a lot of time with people doing different projects and different things. So one of those is the internal development goals related to the Millennium Development Goals. And this is moving society in a more positive direction. So I like to do those kind of things.
Okay, so my next question from you that what was there a particular person experience or moment that you inspired you to work for a more sustainable future?
I think I've always had that perspective. I've always had that way of thinking. But if I think back in the past, there are certain people that had such enthusiasm. They really encouraged me. So there are famous people. So David Bellamy was one who was on television when I was younger. Another David Attenborough, also was quite encouraging. He's made lots of nature documentaries around the world. But also, if I think back, there were certain people that I met. There was a teacher we had at school, a biology teacher, and he'd worked on ships going out and collecting samples and a kind of study center. And he was very inspiring as a scientist. But I've always had that perspective. I don't think there's any one person that's made me have that curiosity for the world. I've just been a curious person. I've always been interested in what's happening and wanting to know more.
Okay, that's good. So my next question from you that what has been the most challenging part of your journey so far?
I think the most challenging part of my journey so far is that everybody has different perspectives, and a lot of people like to be the same as everyone else. They don't want to be different. They don't want to be seen to be different. So they want to conform and not live differently. And I am quite happy to explore different ways of living. So some of that can be easy things like being a vegetarian when other people aren't vegetarians. But in the society I grew up in England, most people drink alcohol, and I never have. My grandfather didn't. When I was very young, I asked him why not. And his father was a printer, and he told me that uh, when he went to see his father at his workplace, his father's boss was very stressed in his job, and he drank and drank. He said he would carry him out blotto. So the man would drink himself till he was unconscious every day from the stress. He drank too much alcohol. And my grandfather was so shocked he never drank alcohol. So when I heard this, I said, well, I'm never going to do this. But that's a challenging thing when you're around other people that want to do that. They're very stressed. If they see someone being different, they feel awkward. So they pressure you. So I think if you have your morals or you have your own way of being, if it's different from other people, it's very hard to live that way. So I think that's the challenging thing. A lot of the stuff I do is very activisty. And activists work when something's not right, you want to fix it. You want to campaign against it. But of course, it's got to be changed, means that it's working in a different way from how you want it to work. So that can be quite difficult on a journey when you're working against that stress of other people not wanting to change. It can be simple things like encouraging people to recycle or not to throw litter on the floor. So I think I'm quite strong as an adult, but when I was younger, it's quite hard to be like that and to stick to your opinions.
Okay, so my next question from you, that what is one lesson you learned from a challenge that you still carry with you today?
I have to think a little bit now. I learned from a challenge that even if you don't succeed, even if you're not successful, not to give up, to keep trying again. Now, when I was a child, we were told stories. For example, we were told the story of Robert the Bruce, who was in Scotland. My grandfather was called Bruce, and he was Scottish. And there's a story about Robert the Bruce trying to defeat the English, and he despaired and thought he would never succeed. So he went into a cave. He was hiding out in a cave. And when he was in the cave, he saw a spider trying to build a web. And the spider fell down and climbed up again and fell down and climbed up again and fell down. Finally, he built the web. And this inspired him to try again and again. And I think there's this tenacity, that ability to stick at something. So Finns have this word for that. They call it sisu. And sisu is the determination to achieve something no matter what. So you have to have your mind, mentally, you have to think, this problem will go away. If I just keep doing it, I just keep saying I'm going to do it, I'll do it and I will succeed. And so I think that's something that I've learned from challenges I've had in my life. It can be simple things like people not responding to you, or it can be difficult bureaucracy. We've got papers to fill in and then they're not right. And you just have to keep trying. And I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned, is not to give up. How about you, Hafsa? What have you learned? What's the biggest challenge you've had? Hello?
Part of dance school, and we have to choose a wala, and then we have to solve a problem related to wala. In dance school, we have learned, and they teach me that like they teach every student how to solve a problem, and we have to work on our wala. And I like learn in Trahan school graphic designing, video editing, vibe coding, like, and interviewing. That's why I'm doing an interview. That's a task, and the benefits to do an interview, it's in English improving, and confidence building. And then we do AI sessions and talk to different AI tools. TEDx talk, we like listen and like different speakers that talk reviews, and then we pretend like that we make a recording, and we on recording, and then we learn with that talk review. We like explain that what we learned. That's called TED Talk review. Like TEDx talk. TEDx talk.
I think that's very powerful that you do this, and it's true. The first time you do it, you're not so smooth, you're not so practiced. But the next time you do it, you're more practiced, and then more practiced. And I think you'll also go in confidence. So you're just talking one-on-one to me, but soon you can talk to a whole room of 500 people and not worry about it. So it's really great. When you look back and you will be doing that, you'll think, wow, what a journey. So good luck on your journey.
Thank you. When my first day at Rahan school, like I attend that Rahan school, at my confidence, I'm so nervous that if they talk to me in English, that what could it be? What would be my like? My face will be like that, looking. So like I'm so nervous that I'm like I can't speak a doubt even if I want to like speak up a question with my teachers. I can't speak that big. Why? Because I don't have any like some confidence. I don't have even the C of confidence. Like so when I was in my traditional education, so my confidence was like that. I can't speak if I want to discuss about a doubt. I want to discuss about any subject or period. So I can't discuss with that because I don't have any confidence. Like I want like if I will discuss related to doubt, or teacher will punish me or anything else. But there is not a reason that teachers punish me if we if we do some work that is a reason that I'm so nervous and I don't have confidence. So when I came in this school, so I did I take foreigners interviews. I give foreigner like that. I take adults interviews. I give to students like they take from me in interviews. I take from that interviews. Like that is supposed to do.
Yeah, when I was a little bit younger, not very young, I was still an adult, a friend of mine invited me to play a game. And the game is called Munchausen. So I need to tell you a story here. There was a man called R.E. Rafe, and he wrote a book called The Wonderful Adventures of Baron von Munchausen. And Baron von Munchausen was a real person, and he used to exaggerate. He used to make stories up that were not that they were completely lies, but they were so fantastical, so exaggerated, so over the top that they were beyond truth. And in this game, what happens is you sit round with some other people and you imagine that you're in a captured French chateau from the 18th century. And the host of the Munchausen game will turn to you and say, my dear sir, whatever your name is, or madam, whatever your name is, pray tell me the tale of how it was that you were able to save Queen Victoria and keep your modesty at the same time. Or some other question, can you please tell me the tale of when you went to the moon and the giraffes that you met there? And then you have suddenly got to come up with a story based on what they've asked you. So you can either say, yes, indeed, I will tell you the story of the giraffes on the moon. And you never knew that was going to be the question. And you have to tell a story that's funny and entertaining, just like that. You don't have much time to prepare. So the first time you play it, you're really nervous. You really think, well, what will I say? I'll sound stupid, or I don't have a story, or. But when you play it lots, you start to bring in jokes. And you see from the other people if they find it funny or not. So there's a twist on the game. You have a pile of coins in front of you, and you can challenge somebody when they say something. That's not true. I think you'll find that they weren't giraffes, but they were hippopotami. And then someone might say, but they weren't hippopotami, it's hippopotamuses. I think you've got your Latin confused. So they would challenge each other like this. The challenge isn't really to win the coins. The challenge is to make the story more interesting. But if your story is interesting, people are listening and they don't challenge you. So as you play this Munchausen game, you start to develop better storytelling. So the first time you play it, you're a bit nervous, you're not so good. But when you play it more and more, you start to become funnier. You start to realize this is how to tell a story. So my big fault is I talk too much. I should talk a little bit. But it can be good fun to play this. And just like you, when you practice, you get better.
Okay. So my next question from you, Dad, can you like tell to our viewers what is one lesson you learned, like that sustainability? What does it mean to you personally?
Well, sustainability to me means continuing to do the things that you're doing. And that doesn't necessarily mean good things. And it means that you believe that the way things have been is the way they have to carry on. So I'm moving away from the idea of sustainability, and I'm moving towards regeneration and regenerative ways of going on. And this means you look at the situation now and how it will be in the future, what's coming, and you have to change how you will be and not necessarily be the same. And this is related to the idea of sustainability and sustainable development, where people said things were not sustainable. The way we were going on was very bad. So, for example, we looked at fossil fuels to make electricity or power our cars, power our lives, and we realized we can't do that because it destroys the planet. It's making acid rain and it's causing global warming. So we really have to change from that. That's not sustainable. It's unsustainable. But just becoming sustainable means we must change and we must regenerate how we do those things. So we could try and do what's called weak sustainability and swap something. So instead of burning oil or diesel in our cars, we could have solar panels and have electricity, or we could try burning something else like wheat or potatoes that makes a fuel. But this isn't enough. It's not enough to do that weak sustainability. We want what's called strong sustainability. So we can't necessarily replace one thing just with another thing. We can't substitute it. We've got to do something really different. So for me, then we have to do something regenerative. So with the transport example, we'd think about active transport. So this would be things like cycling or walking. So we wouldn't use a car at all. We'd use something completely different. So that's where I think more that we need to move towards regenerative or regen approaches and not necessarily just sustainable ones. So quite a long scholarly answer for you. What does it mean to you? What does sustainability mean to you?
Wait, hello?
What does sustainability mean for you? How would you say it in Urdu?
What? Urdu what? I can't hear you properly. What? Urdu?
How would you say sustainability in Urdu? And what does it mean to you? What do you think sustainability is?
You're saying that like what does sustainability mean like me in Urdu with like me, right?
Yes. What's the word?
Okay. Like you are saying that I can tell in Urdu.
Yes.
माहौल को ना महफूज रखना कहते हैं सस्टेनेबिलिटी एंड जो बरादरी को कहते हैं लाइक तरक्की करना उसको भी कहते हैं दैट इज
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so my next question from you, that what inspired you to like the most during the experience?
Many things inspired me. I think some of my inspiration came from my family. So I think about my grandfather, and he was always a happy, sharing person. So, for example, if you sit round a table and there's food, a plate of biscuits, and there's not many left, some people will just say, "May I take one?" which is quite polite, or they will just take one, not so polite. He would pick them up and offer them to everybody else first, before thinking of himself. So this sharing and selflessness came from him. And then I think about other people in my family. So he and his wife, my grandmother, They always used to argue, but they would always laugh about it. And so that taught me that you can express different opinions without becoming too personalized. You can have differences of opinion, but still see the humanity in people. If I think about my other grandparents, they also taught me wisdom. So my one grandmother used to sing lots of songs to me. She was in the church and she remembered many war songs. And so she was always saying, let's have a sing along. Come on, let's keep things jolly. Let's keep things happy. So that was always very nice. Whenever we met her, she would always do some strange things, but they were always fun things. So, for example, the traditional food at Christmas time in England is mince pies. But whenever we visited her, even in the summer, she would always make mince pies because we liked them. So it's a little bit crazy, but I like that kind of craziness. And her husband, my grandfather, he also shared things with me. So he'd come from Transylvania in Romania. He was an ethnic German. And he used to have a funny phrase. Whenever he wanted to show you something, he would say, I know, I've been trained. I was in the German army. And my father used to say the same thing. It was quite funny. So I think those older people in my family showed me many things. But I also learned from nature. I also learned how things are and to accept the way things are. So that's things that have inspired me. How about you? What inspires you?
One thing inspired me, like then when I came to the high school, that all the students are doing their work. So I said that, what is that like that? Because before my full life, I know about like phones, mobiles, cell phones like that, and like iPhones and all things. But I don't know about like how to click to the tabs on like laptop or like Chromebook. How to tap something, how to use the keyboards and that. So when I said to my father that, what are the students doing? They don't have books, they don't have notebooks, they don't have any stationery like any no pen, pencil, or that is scales or rules. And so that said that they are doing work on their laptop. So to my father's reaction is like, laptop? Like that's I'm saying that. So my father said, yes, it's laptop. This is the school that changed the mindsets, and we have to like produce, like we have to solve a problem in Pakistan. That's pretty good. So my mission is that I want to give justice to 1 million people that live in Pakistan, and I want to make a website related to instances of judges, advocates, lawyers, and that. Okay, so and sell it to $1 million. That's my main ambition.
And I think also I see in you some curiosity. You want to know. You want to learn something. So you want to know what you don't know. That's not just from the school. That's from you yourself. And I think that's a really great thing to have. Someone told me many years ago that there's in the Quran there's a phrase that says, if you seek wisdom, then Allah will grant you something or other wonderful. I don't remember exactly, but I like the idea that Islam recognizes that seeking wisdom is a good thing to do, and I think that you just are naturally like that. You're curious to know stuff, but then you want to know, what do I do with it, and what's the right thing to do with it? That's wisdom. So I think it's good that you have some wisdom at your own age. This is a word that's used a lot in Finland. They say visaus. Visaus is to be wise and have wisdom. So, well, that's cool.
So, in the last, I want to see that. Can you give an advice to like our audience like
that? That's a very broad question. Can I give advice to the audience? I can say many things. I could say things like follow your heart. I could say things like look at other people. Look what they learn from other people. That's a very good piece of advice, is to see how other people done stuff. And you're doing this with me by you asking me questions. But you can just observe other people. You can watch them and see how they behave. So you learn from their mistakes rather than your own. I think that's a better thing to do. But also be bold. Be willing to put yourself in positions that are not so comfortable, where you don't know things or you're not sure how it will turn out, especially when you're younger. And always keep that curiosity. So that's my basic advice.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so this was our interview. I hope you like it. We'll meet another interview. Hafiz, Pakistan, Zindabad.